Did they even teach that anymore? What do they call it now?
They took that out.
Really?
They don't even have that. Or not, at least not in like some schools.
It's interesting how they've pretty much pulled out everything that they consider non-essential. I'm trying to figure out if there's somewhere I had to glide from here. I thought there was, but I guess not. Really, this is the one place in the game where there's nowhere I have to glide from up here.
Yeah, what are you thinking this is?
Oh,
go over there. Go over there.
Right there. All right, I gotta get this thing. The thing.
So, okay, going off of that.
Off of what? The home economics?
Getting rid of things that they deem non-essential.
Like music.
Yes, music is not important. Okay, what the heck is that?
What the heck is that?
What?
Is that an invisible
barrier?
barrier?
Wait, you can't... Maybe when that thing's not active?
How?
Okay, try going around it. Try going around a different one.
I think this is just
so this is just a wall.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyways, removing non-essential things.
We found a wall. Trupp would like to know our location.
Yeah, you got paged.
Yeah. No, back when I was in college, there was a push, and it's only gotten worse now, to remove Western civilization from college degrees as like a mandatory course.
Is it in other college degrees, or was it only at private colleges?
It's in... No, they want to remove it from everything. Like... Okay, jeez.
I didn't say anything.
No, I said like...
Okay, well, I don't want you to get mad at me.
Whoever like runs the general curriculum for the America.
Right. It's many people. There's deans of the colleges, and they...
Yeah, but there's like a push for Western Civ to not be a required course. Which I find very stupid.
I do too, but possibly for a different reason than you. Your reason is to learn the history of our civilization, correct? Because it's not something to be ashamed of?
Yes. No. Yes.
It's not.
But
this is the same thing as somebody shaming you for something your ancestor did. It makes no sense.
Right.
I think that the reasoning behind getting rid of that is good, actually, but flawed. And here's what I'm going to say about that. The reasoning that people give to get rid of that kind of stuff is all the problems that history had. However, the problem with getting rid of it for that reason is that then you learn nothing from it.
Yeah, I could honestly give you case after case after case after case of people of people getting rid of history and then it biting them in the butt.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because the phrase, those who don't learn history are doomed to repeat it, is not just like a random phrase that people made up.
Well, I made that up.
I don't know.
I don't think you can get up there.
I
think that's just an invisible wall.
But that's not just like a random phrase that someone randomly said one day.
No, there's a purpose to it.
Because there's actual reasons behind it. And like, I get so annoyed when people get like angry at history, so they try to cancel it. And it's like, what are you doing? Like,
I don't know how you cancel history anyway.
It's like, okay, like, yeah, so this person did something that you in 2020 are offended by. Sorry, they lived in a different time period.
Well, it's also okay to admit that they were wrong, but that doesn't mean that you have to get rid of the history.
Well, exactly. It's kind of silly to me. I think you need like a key. Yeah, there's like enemies around that actually give you drop keys.
Oh, okay, maybe this person will tell me about it.
Gavin.
What god is this? I got a beer?
Watch the dragonfly, Spyro. His color indicates his power.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Okay.
Hashtag cancel Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin, you...
this is 2020, man.
Gavin, you need to not say that kind of stuff anymore, man. Look...
Oh, God.
We all went through that edgy phase of humor, but we need you to knock it off, Gavin.
Yeah, come on, Gavin.
Gavin, this is problematic, and the Gnasty Gnorc will cancel you. What if the Gnasty Gnorc went on Twitter and just started typing up exposés on Gavin?
They're like, Gavin shares a meme, and they're like, oh!
We found this meme from Gavin in 2009, where he said this.
They like find Gavin's parents and like cancel them too.
Okay, that's the dumbest thing. Can we talk about that Sky Jackson thing?
Yes, we could talk about Sky Jackson.
Without us both saying like 200 times?
Thingamajigger. It'll take you back to the artisan home. But first, let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya!
So here's the thing with that Sky Jackson.
Okay. Do you have all the stuff here first?
I'm sure I don't.
Give us
124, 3 out of 4. I can look around a little bit. I don't know if we want 100% every area. It might take a while. But the thing with the Sky Jackson stuff is she canceled a 13-year-old, sorry, a 13-year-old who made a dumb joke. And I tweeted about this on Twitter because I'm a Twitter warrior, so I wanted to let you know that I did that. You should follow my Twitter if you don't. Very good stuff.
Thank you, Ike. Are you solving problems?
I'm solving the world's issues by tweeting about them.
Cool.
So, Sky Jackson canceled a 13-year-old and got his parents fired, in my opinion. And she can say, like, well, no, I didn't. I didn't do that. But here's the thing. You doxed him on purpose. There is no way, in my opinion...
13-year-old.
There is no way, in my opinion, that you did that for no reason. You do that because you want to see what will happen to them.
Yep.
You do that to get someone punished.
Yep.
There's no other reason to leak someone's personal number or address or whatever. None. There's zero other reason to do it other than to send someone after them or to try and punish them.
Yep.
That's the only purpose to doing it. So I was trying to see if this oh, it doesn't disappear. It just burns.
Yeah, you just want to watch the world burn.
Exactly. So, if you cancel somebody like that by doxing them, you are trying to see what other people will do to them. That's what I think, because I don't see any other logical reason to do it. And especially to drag their parents into it is insanity. Plus, who as a 13-year-old was not a dumbass? Who wasn't?
I can think of very, very, very few, if any, 13-year-olds that are not stupid.
And also, it was never... The stuff that people say now that you can't say, nobody talked about how you couldn't say it back then.
Yeah.
Nobody did. They just talked about... They didn't talk about any of this. It was never on anyone's radar. So nobody was taught by their parents or by anyone, don't say something's gay as an insult.
Right.
Or don't say this word because it's offensive to this group of people. People were taught, hey, that's funny, because other people would laugh at something offensive.
Right.
That's it. So, what is the point?
Not that you ever run into trouble, Spyro.
This looks like Jack from Jack and Daxter. So I guess my thing is, what is the point of canceling these children? Aren't you supposed to try and educate people to make better decisions and say better things and not ruin their life, I guess?
Well, it's the same argument for why cancel George Washington. His parents never told him slavery was wrong.
That's true.
Because it wasn't part of the culture.
No, they just said whatever to it.
So, like, was he supposed to be like a Tumblr and Twitter warrior?
Well, people
in the 1700s?
People would like that to have been the case. Also, where are these last 40? Because 40 is a lot. Am I missing an area here? Tell me if you see something that I haven't been to.
Are you, like, talking to the audience?
No, you.
Are you talking to, like, the audience?
No, I'm talking to you.
Oh.
Are you doing that on purpose now to try to annoy me?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, stop doing it.
Well, it works, so I got a reaction.
You're right. That's true. That's true. Well, I know how to get some reactions out of you if you'd like to go down that road.
No, we don't need to do that.
Okay, that's interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the point is. It's like...
I don't know what the point is either, and I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I would have figured it would be something up there.
Well, try going up there. Well, and also here's the other thing. They're 13.
Did I head this way? Yeah,
like
exactly.
You just...
Here's some.
You just asked for physical harm on a child.
Well, pretty much. I mean, and you
Oh, down there. Down to your right.
I saw a few down there, but I don't want to drop down there yet because that's easy to get to.
Okay.
I would prefer to finish this part first. Yeah, and the problem with this system is you could legally say, no, I didn't. All I did was leak this. You could say, I didn't ask for that, but that's very clearly what you're going for.
Right.
I don't know who... Also, doxing is illegal.
Yeah.
It actually is, because it's not illegal under some circumstances, but if there is
There's a chest behind you.
Thank you, I didn't even see it. If there is a intent for harassment on the individual, it's illegal.
Yep.
And so because there's no other reasoning for a celebrity who has millions of followers across their social media platforms to be leaking that information about a minor, I think a jury or a lawyer, if this kid was to sue Sky Jackson, could very easily prove that that's the reason you were doing that. Or at least paint that picture that you're a piece of garbage,
Right.
and you were trying to get this kid hurt. And it would be civil court, so it wouldn't even be with a jury. So they don't need to do beyond reasonable doubt. They just need to convince the judge.
Yep.
That's it in a civil court. And no judge would side with that girl.
No.
Other than a complete moron, which there are a few judges that are complete morons.
I think the kid should sue her.
I think so too. You know what the problem is with the U.S. justice system is that she could win by dragging it out and just ruining his financial,
Right.
Ruining him financially.
Oh, there's that key to open up that chest.
This might do it. I don't know.
Okay, the rest is in that chest.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, no, so that's the thing, is that you could very easily point that out in a civil court, and say, hey, you very clearly were doing this for this reason. There's no other logical reason you'd be doing it. You are abusing your platform, and give me $3 million in damages because you've ruined my career.
Right.
You could very easily do that, and I hope someone does. I hope people start suing these people. You know, this is going to get me in hot water if I go too far down this rabbit hole, because I think typically when people report this kind of abuse, it is true. This kind. But there have been a lot of allegations lately on Twitch streamers and YouTubers and stuff like that for misconduct.
Yeah.
Of the naughty business kind. And do you know where the hole is? Oh, maybe a bad way to transition there. Do you know where the hole is? I have to drop down.
There's a problem with YouTubers of the naughty kind. Hey, do you know where the hole is?
Listen, so here's the thing. How do I drop down to that hole? There it is. Oh, more sheep to kill. Jesus Christ sends his regards.
So there's the hole. It's a big hole.
So here's what I was going to say. The problem with this is that even if you assume 99.9% of these are true,
Yeah.
which I would assume they are, actually.
99.9% of what?
Allegations of naughty business time.
Okay.
Unwanted.
Yep.
Which I would assume most are.
Yep.
Because statistically, a lot go unreported anyways. There's no way 100% are. That's all I'm saying. And I think that's pretty much a fact. I don't think that's saying yours isn't if you've made one. That's not my point.
Right.
My point is basically that if you line up 1,000 people and they all say something, one of them is lying.
Yeah.
Statistically, there's no way they're not. If you asked everybody to say something about yourself, there's no way they all told you the truth.
Right.
Do I just leave this area now?
Yeah, you're done.
Okay. So, my point is essentially, can I go back the way I came?
But do you have to go back to the return home thing?
Right, so where I came in?
Yeah.
Because there's two of them, right? One where I came in and one at the other dragon.
Well, you have to go to the one by the beach. So not this one.
Oh, okay.
So you go back. Mm-hmm. And then I think there's like one on the left, isn't there? What's through there?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're right.
there.
So I didn't know if this was a different return home than the other one. But anyways, so my point is just that they can't all be true. So now, Angry Joe got accused of some of that stuff. The YouTuber Angry Joe. I know you don't watch a ton of his stuff. I don't really either, but I've watched some in the past. Like his Battlefront review was really good. And he does funny skits to make fun of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's just context. He's getting his lawyers involved because somebody said that about him and he says it's not true.
Yeah.
And I guess all I'm saying is that I hope that more people, I'm not saying it is or isn't true. I don't know. My point is just I hope that more often in the future legal stuff gets involved in these cases, because canceling people doesn't really work anyways, even if you try to, if they're already a celebrity.
Right.
Bill Cosby got a comedy tour after being canceled.
Yep.
Before being convicted. It doesn't work. It does not work. Unless you can hit them with criminal charges, it doesn't work. And my point is not hit Joe with criminal charges. My point is that the law needs to get involved in this stuff, because otherwise it just doesn't function. And the problem is that when this is reported way after the fact, you can't run kits on somebody.
Right.
You can't do any of this. And I'm not saying that I don't understand why it's not reported right away. I mean, I'm sure that even though it wouldn't be my fault if something happened to me, I'm sure that I would be very embarrassed and upset and maybe even rationalize something in the moment.
It is a very hard thing to do.
Yes, and I think it's much harder for women. And even though I don't like when people do this, what I'm about to say, I don't prefer when people say, well, you're a woman, you don't understand man's issues, or you're a man, you don't understand women's issues. I hate that, but rape is a different level of violation for women in a lot of ways, because it's this really... It's one of the worst things that can happen to somebody. And it can happen to men, too, but statistically it does happen a lot less. Still happens, way less. So my point is, I understand why people wouldn't report this.
Right.
It only just becomes hard because you have to just accept it immediately, or people get mad at you, and you kind of feel bad too, because what if it's true, you know? But then on the other hand, that the pro Jared stuff, that came out to be not true later. So he did do some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he probably shouldn't have been involved in sexual messaging with fans, because it's just a bad idea for YouTubers. It's just a bad idea. And it comes off looking slimy. But he didn't break a law. It wasn't with underage people. He set that up like, hey, if you're underage, you can't be in here, you can't do this, that, or this, unless you lie and you... It's like a teenager accessing the orange YouTube.
Right.
You're the one lying and getting in there. And my point is that he wasn't interested in that. He did say, hey, nobody like this in here. And he got crucified by public opinion before it came out that those allegations were false.
Yeah.
And my problem with this is that people will point to all the unheard stories and say, well, we have to talk about all of it, and it's all true because these people have been unheard. Totally get that. But the problem is, when cases come up where it was fake, nobody wants to acknowledge it because it defeats the narrative of talking about it.
Right.
And the problem is we have to be able to talk about it, but talk about it. Not just immediately jump on Twitter.
So you're saying
Am I going to get in trouble for this?
You're
Probably.
saying my 170 characters on Twitter is not going to solve an issue?
Probably not. I mean, you should definitely speak the truth on Twitter and anywhere else. People are allowed to have opinions and should have opinions.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I have opinions on Twitter. And frankly, I find abuse of women to be disgusting.
Right.
I find it to be absolutely disgusting and reprehensible. If there's a man that I know would hit a woman, I would want to beat his brains in.
Right.
It's disgusting to me, and it really pisses me off. It makes me angry. But the problem that I have is just with any issue like this, or any issue at all, the now current climate of, well, this has been ignored for so long, so anytime it comes up, let's murder the person it came up against and destroy their career, get their parents fired, get whatever, whether it's a edgy joke or a assault allegation or whatever. If something comes up, it's taken immediately as a gospel. And I don't know if that's the best way to handle things either, because human beings need subtlety to handle situations. Nothing is an absolute.
Like those bonfires, by the way.
Oh, can you do that? Bonfires, where?
Right there.
Oh, thank you. Nothing's an absolute is all I'm saying. And if you treat everything like it's an absolute, so either way, when we used to treat it like women can't talk about this because it was on you, that's how society used to treat these assaults. Yep. That's horrible. That's a horrible thing to do. It's not the case. The victim is pretty much never to blame in an assault, and it's just silly. But at the same time, the opposite side of that of, well, it was said, so I don't need to listen anymore because I heard it one time. Also, in my opinion, not that smart of a way to handle any situation. Can you imagine if every time something went to court, the judge listened to the defendant, and then there's the defendant,
the prosecutor.
The prosecutor. And then when it came to the defendant, the judge ignored them. So, like, the judge listened to the defendant, or the prosecutor. And as soon as it came to the defendant, he put in earplugs.
Yeah.
Didn't hear them, and then immediately said, well, the defendant's right.
Well, yeah.
Or the prosecutor. Why am I getting these terms wrong?
It's a terrible mindset.
It's just bad. And the problem that sucks is most of the prosecutors are right.
Right.
But if you can't take anything as an absolute in life, I don't think. And I get that's going to piss people off, but I don't understand how you can't see the logic in that, other than because the logic isn't don't listen. The logic is listen more and investigate and verify, and don't treat everybody like they're telling the truth. I've told lies. Have
Yeah.
you told lies before?
Many times.
Who hasn't told a lie before? Is there anybody on the earth who has not told a lie before? My mom is the most religious, Baptist, Christian, like, do-gooder woman ever. And I'm not insulting her in that way. I'm just saying she is. And she's told a lie before.
Yeah. Everyone has.
This is like the nicest person ever. Gets scared of spiders. Wouldn't even want to kill a mosquito.
Right.
Has told a lie. So how can you tell me that, well, we can't assume that anything is, not how it is, I guess, about any of this stuff. So this is coming back to Sky Jackson. So I'm sorry
Yep.
for going way off track. My point is, with what Sky Jackson did, it's like what any of these people do. They say what happened, or they say how they perceive something. Now, if you're an actual victim of something, it is what happened. It's not how you perceived it.
Right.
But they will say their piece, and then everybody will pick a side and latch onto it, and nobody listens. And people do that too to defend people, by the way. People were vehemently defending Bill Cosby,
Right.
but he admitted it. He admitted he did that.
Yeah.
And people were defending him. Where are the last 6?
I don't have any idea.
People were defending him that he...
Maybe that. Oh, up there.
Oh, and saying like, well, he's innocent. I mean, even Kanye West was defending him. And I actually like Kanye West, unlike you. But my point to all this is just that we need to listen to each other and stop assuming that every single statement that's said is gospel, whether it's a accusation or a defense. Things need to be investigated, verified, etc.
Etc.
Etc. Also, by the way, if you are a creator, keep your hands to yourself, please. I don't care who you are, and I'm not saying this that Joe did this.
Right.
I'm saying about anybody. YouTube creators are not any better than anyone else. Same with celebrities. You still need to respect people's boundaries. I don't even understand it. I mean, I'm nervous. I'm nervous to even talk to a girl. I can't imagine being so douchey about all this stuff.
Right.
But it's really just taking advantage of your status when people do that kind of stuff. And if you're a kid, you need to realize that there's people out there looking to get angry at things that you say, and they don't care that you're a kid, and they will destroy you over it if they can. And society needs to stop letting them.
Yep. I would agree with that.
I'm done.
Okay, I'm kind of letting you have your piece here.
No, I have my piece. I was trying to make sure that I covered every base.
Okay.
So that I didn't say, hey, don't believe accusations of bad behavior, or so that I didn't say racist jokes are okay, but also so that I didn't say crucify everybody who you think, after 2 tweets on Twitter should be murdered. I was trying to get both sides of
so
that. Did I? Did I? Get
I
both
think
sides
you
of it?
did.
99 out of 100.
I think to go back to your points, the reason why I get so angry at people who make false allegations,
Right, not any.
yeah, false ones, is because you're taking away from people who actually go through this.
Right, and then nobody listens to them.
Yeah, and like people legitimately go through this all the time.
Yes, my friend was a victim of being taken advantage of.
Yes.
I don't want to share any details
Yes.
about it because that's their story, and it's awful, and it makes me angry to even think about. Can you help me find this last jewel? Because I don't want to leave the area without it.
I can, yeah.
It makes me very angry to even... that guy! To even think that happened to this person, because they're
Right.
wonderful, they're a great friend, they're a great person, they're somebody who I deeply care about. And it makes me very upset to know that somebody would be capable of doing that to them or to anyone.
Right.
And I know that they're telling the truth, and it is a verifiable thing that this happened, and not that this has to be the case, but other people have even said, yeah, this happened.
Right.
So this is something that there's no denying at all. There's not even a plausible deniability to it. It's awful, and it makes me so angry, and it even makes this person angry because they have said the same thing that you've said, that they feel like they can't say anything because this is now a hot button topic.
Right.
So they feel like they can't say anything about it because people will either assume that they're lying because there have been some false allegations in the last 3 years that have come up and been proven false, or people will make a big issue out of it and try and use this person as a not a martyr, but almost as a figurehead for the issue. And they don't want that. These people just want justice. They don't want attention when they actually want their justice.
Yeah, and that's the problem is a lot of times
I know, you have to pick your words carefully.
I am picking my words carefully.
I know, right? It's stupid. It's
a lot of
stupid that you
times,
can't talk about it.
people that go through these issues, it's something that is very embarrassing for them.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very hurtful and very horrible. So, it's like I don't get the people that could go and just... They don't like someone, or they want someone's money, so they go and they fake a allegation.
And those people are very few, like you said.
They are
They're
few.
A statistical minority. It's probably like 1 or 2 out of 1,000 people doing that. Most people already are probably not coming forward because they're embarrassed.
Exactly. And but my problem is, it's like, really, you could take that big of a problem and just use it for personal gain, when this is like an actual issue to people. And the reason why that's a problem is now it's created a culture in the world of people being like, well, I wonder if they're just faking it.
Can I die?
Yeah, you can die.
Where's my health?
Click the center button. Oh wait, maybe not that button. Wait, click the center button again. Oh, so up there, do you see those dots?
Oh, okay, yeah. They don't really show you that.
Click the center button again. You have skill points. I never do this.
Reach tricky platform.
That's interesting. So anyways, it's like, and now it's just created a culture where people are kind of like, well, I wonder if they're faking it or not. And I feel like...
And I don't want to feel that way about it.
Yeah, and
I try not to. I try to just... Oh, I did die. I try to just take it as... well, they said it. It's probably true.
Well, exactly.
But my point is just that you don't assume that there's no more to it completely, because people assume Bill Cosby was innocent. He wasn't. A lot of people assumed he was innocent, by the way.
Right.
And people assumed that... people have assumed that Pro Jared and others were guilty of bad behavior that weren't. And then there have been people who came out and said, hey, I did this, who no one would have expected. And that's my point, is just you have to consider all those. How do you avoid that?
I don't know.
You have to... How? How am I supposed to avoid that? You have to consider all of those different... I died again. All those different situations of we don't know that much as outsiders.
And I think it's just... I think the moral of the story is... If... Yeah, I'm trying to pick my words carefully.
I know, and I'm trying not to cut you off.
If,
There's no way to dodge that unless you...
The moral of the story is, just if someone randomly says something, I think, one, everyone should just not instantly, jump on board and be like, we gotta get rid of this person.
Or the other way around.
But, but on the other way around, if someone instantly says something and it's a celebrity that you like, don't just instantly be like, oh, well, they're good.
Yeah, they didn't do it.
It's like...
Or worse, we can forgive this one.
Right, and it's just like, I think as society...
How am I supposed to do that? We live in a society.
I think as a society, we should be more... Well, one, we should be better people, that if you're going to fake something like this, you're a piece of garbage.
But you should be punished for that.
You should be punished. Two, we should be in a society that allows people to go through the due justice system to get the justice that is deserved. And whether that is justice for the person who did bad things to that person, or whether it's justice for the person who lied about it.
I agree.
I think we should be in a society that allows people to go through that process before we just instantly assume everything, and instantly be like, wow, I read a Twitter post, I know everything.
I agree. It's also very difficult, though, to give the credit on this side, too, because how do you prove that something happened if it's later?
Well, exactly. And
that's why it becomes so difficult to even have these discussions.
Exactly, because unfortunately it's not. It's not really provable. Unless you have like eyewitnesses.
Well, and then it comes down to if we don't have any. I don't know. I'm asking this question as somebody who doesn't even know fully what to do about it. Does it come down to, well, nobody else was there, so it didn't happen?
Right.
Because that's wrong too, because maybe it did happen. And I don't know how you solve that as an issue, really.
Yeah, it's hard.
One of his most devious
These conversations.
We're playing Spyro like a kid-friendly game. We're like, let's talk about this really deep issue.